What is somatic stretch and shake? Well, I'd say in its most basic form, it's a conversation with your body. It's a place to give your body input and begin to listen to the responses of your body, to its impulses, to what it wants and what it needs. And we do this through a structured practice where the beginning part of the practice might look like a normal yoga class with mobility and joint warm-ups and some yoga poses and stretching. And then from there, we diverge into a little bit of a different path and we move into 3 rounds of somatic shaking. And so this is just shaking. It's not dancing. It doesn't need to look beautiful or cool or graceful. It's literally just shaking your body. It can be very subtle movements. It can be very big movements. It's tuning into what your body needs in the moment and just moving, just shaking, getting things going. In between each of those rounds of shaking, there's a minute-long pause where we let the breath, the energy, the body settle, and we just bring our attention inward and tune into sensations and what's happening in our bodies in that space. Noticing what's changed, noticing what feels different. From there, we move into what is probably my favorite portion, which is a section of body-led movement. So it's just what it sounds like. Closing eyes, listening to the body's impulses, and following them, following those movements in your body. And this is the part that's really the heart of the conversation. And so if this is new to you, if you've never done this before, at first it can feel awkward, and that's normal. If you have just met somebody that you've never spoken to before, sometimes that conversation can be a little awkward, but as you get to know the person, as you learn how they speak and how to respond, the conversation begins to flow and you begin to get more comfortable. And it's the same way with this practice. It can feel a little foreign at first. It can feel a little awkward at first. This is not something that we typically do on a daily basis in our society. So just give it time, have curiosity, and make it a practice. The more that you practice it, the more that this conversation develops and deepens and flows and becomes easier. And this practice of listening ripples out into the rest of your life, into how you can listen to your body around food and diet and exercise and work and relationships and all of those other areas of our lives. So it's really a beautiful practice. So after this body-led movement practice, we move into a couple yin or restorative poses, and then we end with shavasana, which is like a restoration pose. And this piece is so important. Restoration is a piece that we often skip a lot in our world. We're busy, we're doing things, and I'm really inviting you in this practice to stick through this restoration part, because after we've shaken everything up and moved everything, this is a piece where your cells get to bathe in that fresh prana and that life force that you've created in the practice. This is the place where your nervous system resets. It's really important. And I would say that's the other level of this practice, is that it's resilience training. It's a practice that in this small, safe container, you get to train your nervous system to move between different states. The goal of resilience is not to always be calm and regulated. It's not to always feel even. The goal of resilience is to be able to meet life where it's at. And the more that we can practice this in this safe container, the more that our body and our nervous system is able to replicate this when we actually encounter the inevitable stressors of our lives. Stress is not bad. Stress is an adaptive process in our bodies. And when we can meet that stress head on, knowing that we can down-regulate into that parasympathetic place and that we can do it with relative ease, then it makes us able to approach our lives in a different way. So yes, this is a physical practice. This helps to move lymph. It helps to move interstitial fluid. It helps to move things that are stuck and stagnant on both a physical and an energetic level. And this is a practice of training our nervous systems to be able to meet our lives and move through our lives in a way that's more graceful and more easeful. If this sounds interesting to you, there's a couple practices up on YouTube already, and I'll be putting more practices up as time goes on. So subscribe, like, whatever you have to do so that you continue to receive these practices. Also, in the fall of 2026, I will be starting a live online practice where we can do this practice together over Zoom and be in a community space with it. Okay, well, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the practice.